Folks, let's be real. One word can flip a woman's focus faster than a dozen dates. That is your wake up. My friend, most men speak in generic labels, then wonder why they fade into the background. They repeat, babe, honey, beautiful, and gift away all leverage. She forgets the man because the words forgettable men use are identical. You feel it when the texting slows, when your jokes land, but the spark does not, when she is friendly yet somehow far. Here is the part no one taught you. A nickname is not sugar, it is a frame. The right name pulls her into your world, sets the rules, and ignites feminine curiosity without a single brag. It says, I see you, and I am leading both at once. I am here to wake you up, not to comfort you. Tonight, I will give you 10 precise templates and the psychology behind each. You will learn when to use mystery, when to use softness, and when to use calm dominance, so she leans in instead of pulling away. You will see why the wrong name makes you look needy, and why the right one makes her replay your voice at midnight. You will get examples, timing cues, and the one forbidden nickname that only works if your frame is solid. Keep your attention right here. Let's get into it. Number 1. The name that rewires her mind. You ever wonder why some men barely say a word, yet their presence lingers in a woman's head for days, my friend? It's not magic, it's psychology. The right word said the right way bypasses her logic and speaks directly to her emotions. And one of the most powerful tools you have isn't what you say, it's what you call her. Take Ethan, 47, a business consultant from Seattle. After his divorce, he started dating again and met Olivia, 42, smart, sophisticated, and used to men who treated her like glass. On their third date, instead of using the usual sweetheart or babe, he called her trouble. The room went silent for half a second. Then she smiled, not the polite kind, but the one that comes from deep recognition. In that moment, her brain lit up. Why? Because the nickname reframed how she saw herself. Olivia had spent years being admired for her composure, her career, her perfection. But when Ethan called her trouble, he didn't worship her, he challenged her. That single word told her, I see the part of you you're trying to hide. It created tension, playful, sexual, psychological tension. And that tension is what keeps her thinking about you long after you've left the room. That's the power of the name that rewires her mind. It doesn't describe her, it defines her in your world. It gives her a role that only exists between the two of you. And the more unique that role feels, the more her brain anchors to it. Because every time you say it, she steps back into that version of herself, the one you created. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you call her something that awakens emotion, you're coloring her thoughts with your presence. You're giving her mind something to loop an emotional imprint. That's why the right nickname isn't just a word, it's conditioning. Most men get this wrong because they try too hard. They use generic pet names that sound safe, beautiful, sweetheart, angel. Words every other man has already used. Those names go in one ear and out the other. But when your nickname carries meaning, when it reflects the energy between you, it changes the dynamic completely. Ethan didn't have to overanalyze. He didn't ask for permission. He said it naturally with a tone of certainty, like it already belonged. That's key, because confidence is what gives the name power. If you hesitate, she'll hear it as performance. But when you own it, it feels instinctive, inevitable. You don't need to call her something outrageous or vulgar. The best nicknames are subtle, mysterious enough to make her wonder why you chose it. Words like trouble, wild one, my chaos, dangerous girl. They're not labels, they're invitations. Each one says, I see something in you that others don't. The Stoic man understands this power doesn't come from noise, it comes from clarity. Seneca once wrote, speech is the mirror of the mind. When your words are intentional, controlled, and precise, they leave a mark far deeper than flattery ever could. So think back. Have you ever said something small that made her freeze, smile, and look at you differently? That wasn't luck. That was influence. That's what happens when your words hit the emotional circuitry she doesn't even know she has. If you've ever seen that moment when a single word shifted everything, write in the comments, "I've seen this." Stick with me, because this is just the beginning. Number 2. The nickname that claims her world. Most men call women by names that try to please them. The strong man, the stoic man, calls her by a name that frames her. You're not naming her for approval, you're defining the world the two of you share. There's a difference between "I adore you" and "you're mine for this moment." One chases the other, claims. Now don't mistake claim for control or ownership. This isn't about domination, it's about presence. When you give a woman a nickname that positions her within your world, not as a possession but as a part of your energy, you lead. And the truth is, she craves that more than she'll ever admit. A nickname that claims her world is deliberate. It's not random, not recycled from your last relationship. It's unique, born from the dynamic between you and her. When you call her something like "my little chaos," "my calm before the storm," or "my reason to breathe," you're not just describing her, you're placing her in your universe. That subtle shift makes her feel something profound. She's part of your reality now, not just a visitor. This is where psychology kicks in. Women respond to context. If you make her feel like she's entered your world, she adjusts her behavior to match it. That's how influence works, not by demand, but by direction. You create the emotional space, and she moves into it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." The Stoic man doesn't seek to control anyone else. He controls how he defines the world around him. When you give her a name that fits within your controlled frame, she naturally aligns with it. Because people, especially women, are drawn to men who live with order, not chaos. And here's the secret: tone matters more than the word itself. Say "my trouble" with steadiness, not playfulness. Say "my wild one" with quiet certainty, not arrogance. The energy behind your words is what makes her lean in. She can feel the difference between a boy trying to impress and a man stating truth. Think of it this way: every woman has her own world, friends, routines, emotions, stories. But when she meets a man with strong presence, her world starts to orbit around his. Not because he demanded it, but because he created gravity. Your nickname is part of that gravity. It's the verbal marker that tells her, "You exist in my frame now." Epictetus wrote, "First, say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." The same principle applies here. Before you speak a word, know who you are and what energy you carry. If your frame is weak, your nickname will sound like flattery. If your frame is solid, your words will feel like truth. Women don't fall for words, they fall for conviction. When you call her something with grounded confidence, something that says, "I see you, and I've already chosen where you fit," she feels it in her body before she understands it in her mind. This is how leaders communicate without shouting, without seeking permission. You define reality by how you speak, and she responds instinctively. So remember this: a nickname that claims her world isn't about taking control. It's about anchoring presence. The stronger your frame, the more she relaxes into it. Because deep down, what she really wants is to feel safe inside a man's certainty. If you've ever seen that shift, that moment when your words made her energy soften, drop a comment below and write, "I've felt that." Stay tuned. The next part will shift your entire frame. Number 3. The title that disarms her defenses. There's a reason some men make women relax instantly, not by being nice, not by being charming, but by how they speak. It's not the compliment, it's the way they reframe her energy. The right nickname, spoken from composure, lowers her guard faster than any persuasion ever could. Because what she feels in that moment isn't threat, it's safety wrapped in tension. Let me show you what I mean. Robert, 51, a retired Navy officer from Florida, met Emily, 46, at a charity dinner. She was confident, witty, and tough, the kind of woman who doesn't let anyone in easily. She'd been single for years, burned by men who confused confidence with control. So when Robert leaned in during conversation and called her "my little storm," she froze for half a second. Then something shifted. Her shoulders dropped. Her tone softened. The woman who had been testing everyone in the room suddenly just exhaled. Why did that work? Because the phrase wasn't about flattery, it was acknowledgement. Robert didn't fight her energy or try to calm her down. He named it. He saw her exactly as she was without judgment. That's what disarms a woman. When you see her, truly see her, and reflect it back without fear, her mind stops defending itself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Robert's calm was truth. He didn't call her "my little storm" to manipulate. He said it because it fit. He saw her fire, her unpredictability, and instead of trying to contain it, he admired it from a grounded place. That's what Stoic strength looks like in action. Every woman builds defenses around two fears: not being understood and being controlled. The right words can melt both at once. When you speak from certainty, not from ego, you show her she's safe to let go. That's what this title does. It reframes her chaos as something seen, not something fixed. Most men try to win women by softening themselves, but a Stoic man does the opposite. He stays grounded, steady, unshaken. He lets her emotional waves crash without reacting. Then, when he finally speaks and gives her that small, intentional title, she feels the difference. Because it's not about dominance, it's about presence. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." That includes emotional bravery, the willingness to face feminine intensity without retreat. When you can look at her fire and still smile, she feels free enough to drop her guard. Here's the psychology: that moment of surrender, when she relaxes, doesn't mean she's weak. It means she feels safe to be feminine again. The right nickname or title doesn't just compliment her, it gives her permission to stop performing strength. That's why she'll remember how you made her feel long after she forgets what you said. Robert didn't need to explain what "my little storm" meant. In fact, he never did. And that mystery made it stronger, because the moment you explain, you dissolve the magic. So think about it. Have you ever seen that moment when a woman's guard dropped and her voice changed tone? When she stopped competing and just started breathing around you? That's what happens when you speak from grounded calm instead of trying to prove yourself. If you've experienced that shift, that quiet moment where her energy softened, type, "I've lived this." Let's keep going, because the next part will show you how to turn curiosity into obsession. Number 4. The words that trigger her curiosity. Every man wants to be unforgettable. But few understand that what makes you unforgettable isn't what you say, it's what you leave unsaid. Curiosity is the invisible string that keeps her thinking about you when you're not around. And the right words used sparingly and with calm confidence pull that string tight. Here's the truth. Women are wired for emotional puzzles. The moment something feels too clear, too easy, too explained, her attention fades. But when your words carry layers, when she has to wonder what you meant, her mind can't let it go. That's why you never want to over-explain your words or your intent. Mystery is the oxygen of attraction. When you give her a nickname like "my little secret" or "my unfinished story," it's not about poetry, it's psychology. You're planting an open loop in her thoughts. She'll play it back later alone, wondering what you saw in her that made you say it. That curiosity becomes emotional gravity. She starts replaying the sound of your voice, your expression, your tone, searching for meaning. That's when you know your presence has moved from her ears to her imagination. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you say something that makes her think of you repeatedly, You're not just in her mind, you're shaping it. Every replay of that memory strengthens your influence. That's why Stoic men speak less but say more. They choose words that echo. Most men make the mistake of using predictable compliments, things that give everything away. You're beautiful, you're amazing, you're special. They feel good in the moment, but they fade fast. The Stoic man uses contrast. He says things that invite interpretation. You're dangerous when you're calm. There's something about your silence. You're not like them and you know it. Statements like these make her lean in. They invite questions she won't ask out loud. Epictetus said, "If you wish to be a writer, write." In your world, that means if you wish to lead, speak like one. Be deliberate. Let your words hold space instead of filling silence. She'll start chasing meaning where you've only dropped suggestion. And here's the secret: curiosity isn't created by confusion, it's created by precision. You say just enough to be clear that there's more to see. The moment you start over-explaining yourself, you lose the power, because curiosity lives in the gap between what she feels and what she knows. When your words touch that space, she's hooked. Now let's talk about control. The Stoic man never uses curiosity as manipulation. It's not a game. It's a reflection of restraint, the ability to hold back just enough to let attraction breathe. When she realizes she can't predict your next move, she becomes alert. Her energy rises to meet yours. You've awakened something deeper than interest, you've created investment. Seneca once said, "Silence is a lesson learned from the many sufferings of life." The more comfortable you are with silence, the more your words carry weight. When you speak, she listens. When you pause, she leans closer. And listen, my friend, if you want to master this balance between silence, precision, and emotional gravity, I've built something for you. Inside our Stoic Brotherhood membership, we dive deep into these principles: how to speak with authority, how to hold presence, and how to lead with calm power in relationships and life. You'll get access to private lessons, advanced techniques, and discussions with men who live by discipline, not impulse. The link is below. Because once you learn how to trigger curiosity not by games but by grounded control, you'll stop chasing attention and start commanding it. Number 5. The secret name that melts her control. Every woman has two sides, the one she shows the world and the one she hides even from herself. The first is calm, composed, confident. The second is uncertain, emotional, and craving to be seen by a man strong enough not to flinch. The secret name, my friend, speaks to that hidden side. It doesn't flatter her power, it melts it. Let me paint you a real story. Michael, 49, runs a construction company in Texas. Divorced for 3 years, he started seeing Rachel, 45, a corporate executive who was used to being in charge, boardrooms, deadlines, control over everything. On their third date, while she was mid-rant about her team, Michael smiled calmly and said, "Easy there, my little commander." She froze, then laughed, but her eyes gave it away. He'd touched something deep. No one had ever spoken to her like that. Not disrespectful, not mocking, just grounded. That moment wasn't about teasing, it was about balance. In one sentence, he reminded her she didn't have to lead everywhere. For the first time in a long while, she could let go, and she did. That's what the secret name does. It doesn't challenge her independence. It gives her permission to drop it. It reminds her that in your presence she doesn't need control to feel safe. And that's intoxicating, because women who run the world by day often crave a space where they can rest from it at night. The key is subtlety. You can't force this moment. You can't throw around nicknames like good girl or baby, hoping for a reaction. That's weak energy. The Stoic man reads her, feels her pace, and when the moment calls for it, when her tone softens, when her body language opens, that's when he names the energy between you. Quietly, naturally, with authority that feels earned. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. In this case, don't mirror her control. If she's intense, don't compete. If she's guarded, don't pry. You disarm her by remaining unshaken. The more she pushes, the calmer you become. That contrast is what earns her trust and her surrender. Seneca said, "To be calm is the highest achievement of the self." Remember that when she tests you, when she challenges you, she's not trying to dominate you, she's trying to feel where your center is. When you respond with calm certainty, her subconscious reads it as safety. That's when the walls come down. Michael didn't explain why he called her commander. He didn't laugh or correct himself. He just kept talking as if it was the most natural thing in the world. That's what made it powerful. The nickname wasn't performance, it was presence. And from that night on, she changed. She stopped overanalyzing. She listened more. She laughed more. Her guard was gone. The secret name works because it flips her nervous system from alert to trust. It tells her, you can stop leading now. I've got it. And that's not control, that's leadership, the kind that's quiet, masculine, and rare. So if you've ever seen that moment when a woman who's always in charge suddenly relaxes around you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's not coincidence. That's chemistry meeting composure. If that moment sounds familiar, write in the comments, "I've seen this." Stay with me because next we'll uncover how your words can touch the part of her she hides, even from herself. Number 6. The name that touches her hidden wound. Every woman carries something she doesn't talk about, a memory, a rejection, a quiet ache that shaped how she sees herself. She hides it under confidence, laughter, or strength. But if you look closely, you'll feel it, a flicker in her tone, a pause between words, a guarded smile. That's her hidden wound. And the rare man who can see it, name it softly, and never use it against her, becomes unforgettable. Now, don't get this wrong. This isn't about playing therapist or digging into her pain. It's about awareness. It's about speaking to the part of her that's still healing, the part she thought no one noticed. The right nickname, the right tone can do what years of attention can't: make her feel seen without being exposed. Think about this. Most men praise a woman's beauty or strength. The Stoic man praises her essence. He sees the mix of power and fragility and respects both. When you call her something like my brave one, my hidden flame, or my quiet fighter, you're not flattering her, you're acknowledging the story behind her eyes. You're saying, I see the part you keep buried and it doesn't scare me. Marcus Aurelius said, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. That's the balance you must hold here. Compassion without weakness, strength without arrogance. You don't call her by that name to win her affection, you do it to honor what she's overcome. And that's why it hits different. A nickname that touches her wound doesn't sound like control, it feels like peace. It's not a label, it's a mirror. You're not giving her an identity. You're reflecting the depth she's spent years trying to hide. And that reflection, that's what disarms her. Because suddenly, she doesn't need to perform strength. She can just be. Seneca once wrote, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. For many women, surviving emotionally, mentally, or spiritually has been exactly that. When your words acknowledge that truth, you give her a space where she can exhale. You don't fix her. You simply remind her she's already whole. But there's a fine line. Never overuse that kind of name. If every conversation turns into healing talk, it loses power and starts feeling heavy. The beauty of this technique lies in timing. One quiet moment, one calm tone, one word that lands deeper than she expects. Then silence. Let her sit with it. Let her process it without pressure. Here's what happens next. She associates your presence with emotional safety. Every time she thinks of you, her body remembers that peace. And that's the foundation of obsession. Not excitement, not lust, but safety that feels rare. Because in today's world, Where everyone wants attention, almost no one offers understanding. The Stoic man doesn't chase comfort, he creates it. He leads from stability, not from need. That's what makes his words powerful. They come from a calm center that she can trust, even when she doesn't understand why. So the next time you sense that subtle pain in her voice or her silence, don't try to fix it. Just hold the space. Maybe even call her my brave one. Say it once. Mean it. Then move on. The silence after those words will do more than any long conversation ever could. If you've ever seen that shift, that moment when she stops pretending and just lets herself be seen, you've touched something real. Comment below, I've felt that. Stay tuned. Next, we'll uncover how to define her through your frame, not hers. Number 7. The word that defines her by your frame. Every woman has a story she tells about who she is. It's built from her past, what she's been through, what she's proud of, what she's afraid to admit. Most men just agree with that story because they think it's polite. But the Stoic man, he listens, and then quietly redefines it. That's the word that changes everything, the word that defines her not by her past but by your frame. Let me show you how it looks in real life. Daniel, 52, a real estate developer from Arizona, started dating Claire, 46, a successful lawyer who'd been divorced for almost a decade. From the beginning, Claire carried herself like someone who didn't need anyone. She'd say things like, "I'm done with relationships, men always disappoint." Most guys would have tried to convince her otherwise. Daniel didn't. He just listened, smiled, and later, when she said something cynical again, he calmly replied, "You're a romantic, pretending not to be." She laughed, but that moment hit her harder than she expected. Because deep down he was right. She was still a romantic, still hopeful, still waiting to feel something real. With that one line, he broke through the story she'd built to protect herself. He redefined her not by her pain, but by how he saw her. And for the first time in years, she felt seen not for who she said she was, but for who she could be. That's the essence of defining her by your frame. You don't accept her narrative, you elevate it. You speak to her potential, not her performance. And when your words come from a place of certainty and calm, they reshape how she sees herself. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you define a woman through your grounded perspective, your energy colors her thoughts. She begins to see herself through your lens, not because you forced her to, but because she wants to. It feels better. It feels safer. Here's what most men get wrong. They let her emotional tone set the frame. If she's defensive, they retreat. If she's sarcastic, they joke back. But when you're the Stoic man, you hold the frame. You speak with quiet authority, not reaction. When she throws a wall up, you don't push, you name what's behind it. Calmly, confidently, without ego. Seneca wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You can't define her world if you're still ruled by your own emotions. Control yourself first, then your words carry weight. Because when she feels your self-control, she trusts your definition of her more than her own. Daniel didn't try to fix Claire or challenge her beliefs. He simply redefined them with conviction. You're a romantic pretending not to be. That's it. He never explained, never apologized. That mystery, that calm certainty made her curious, and curiosity became attraction. When you define a woman by your frame, you're not limiting her, you're leading her. You're saying, "I see beyond your mask and I'm not afraid of it." That's why this kind of man feels rare. Because he's not chasing her story, he's writing a new one just by being himself. So ask yourself, have you ever spoken one sentence that changed how she looked at you, how she looked at herself? That's not luck, my friend. That's mastery. If you've lived that moment when your calm truth made her drop the act, write in the comments, "I've seen this." Stay with me, because next we'll uncover the kind of nickname that makes her chase you. Number 8. The nickname that makes her chase you. Every man wants to be desired, But the truth is, most men chase because they don't understand the deeper game of attraction. Real power isn't in pursuit, it's in pull. And nothing creates that pull like a nickname that makes her question what you really mean. It's not the word itself that draws her closer, it's the uncertainty it creates in her mind. You see, most women are used to being pursued. They expect validation, compliments, predictability. But when a man speaks with intention, when his words are balanced between warmth and mystery, her brain switches gears. Instead of feeling pursued, she starts pursuing clarity. That's what makes her chase you. A nickname like My Little Mystery or My Chaos in Disguise works because it sits perfectly between affection and ambiguity. It's close enough to feel intimate but distant enough to make her wonder, does he really mean it? Does he call other women that? Why does it sound different when he says it? That inner dialogue is your advantage. Her curiosity becomes attachment. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look." When you understand your own energy, your rhythm, your tone, your silence, you don't chase, you attract. The right nickname reflects that strength. It communicates calm dominance, the kind that doesn't beg for attention but earns it naturally. The Stoic man doesn't speak to impress, he speaks to influence. His words carry weight because they come from control, not craving. When you call her something unexpected with confidence and no follow-up explanation, it creates space for her imagination to run wild. And here's the secret: imagination builds faster than reality. That's why mystery outlasts charm. When she can't fully decode you, she invests emotional energy trying to. Every time she thinks about you, her body reacts, heart rate rises, attention sharpens. She'll text first, she'll test boundaries, she'll find reasons to reconnect. Not because you played games, but because your presence lingers. Epictetus said, "He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at." Apply that here. Don't take your own words too seriously. Drop the nickname with composure, maybe even a half smile, and move on. The less importance you show, the more important it becomes in her mind. That's emotional leverage, calm, quiet, invisible. And remember, it's not about manipulation, it's about balance. You're giving her space to feel desire, to step into pursuit while you remain still. When you rush to explain, you kill the tension. When you sit back and let her curiosity breathe, you let attraction grow on its own. Women chase what feels just out of reach. Not out of rejection, out of fascination. Your nickname should make her wonder, what does he see in me that I don't? That question is your power, because when she starts thinking about it, she's already emotionally invested. Seneca once said, "No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity." In the same way, no man loses attraction unless he gets too comfortable. Stay centered, stay scarce. Speak with purpose, not repetition. So here's your rule: never use the same nickname twice in the same tone. Keep it alive, unpredictable and honest. Let her earn your warmth instead of expecting it. Because when your words make her wonder, your silence makes her chase. If you've ever seen that shift when she starts reaching out more, asking subtle questions, leaning closer, then you know this truth. Comment, "I've seen this," because once you master this level of communication, chasing will never be your role again. Number 9. The forbidden name that drives her wild. There's a fine line between attraction and obsession, and the forbidden name walks that line perfectly. It's not romantic, it's not sweet, it's raw, primal, and carries a charge that hits deeper than logic. When said with control, it stirs something she can't fully understand, that mix of desire and danger that keeps her thinking about you long after you've gone silent. Let me show you how it plays out. Mark 55. A marketing consultant from Denver met Elise, 48, through mutual friends. She was intelligent, composed, and proud of being in control. Every man she dated either tried too hard to impress her or acted intimidated by her presence. But Mark was different, calm, slow to speak, and deliberate. On their second date, when she challenged him playfully about not being the romantic type, he smiled and said, "Careful, temptress." The room shifted. She laughed, but her eyes said something else: surprise, tension, interest. It wasn't the word itself. It was the confidence behind it. He didn't explain it, didn't repeat it. He just let it hang there like smoke in the air. From that moment on, Elise was hooked. That's the nature of the forbidden name. It's a word that carries edge, a hint of what's unsaid, what shouldn't be said. It doesn't have to be explicit or disrespectful. It just needs to awaken her awareness of the polarity between you, the masculine calm, and the feminine chaos that crave each other. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The forbidden name works the same way. The fact that it shouldn't be said is what gives it power. It's the psychological resistance that turns curiosity into desire. Because when you name something just outside the bounds of normal, something slightly taboo, her mind becomes obsessed with it. It's not about being provocative. It's about presence. A man who's unshaken enough to hold that energy without losing control becomes magnetic. The forbidden name is a test, not of her reaction, but of your composure. If you say it with tension in your voice, it sounds needy. If you say it from stillness, it becomes electric. Seneca once wrote, "He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man alive." The modern translation, "He who fears discomfort will never inspire desire." Most men are too cautious, too careful, too apologetic in their speech, but attraction thrives on contrast. When you're willing to say what others won't, calmly, confidently, without flinching, you separate yourself instantly. The forbidden name doesn't belong to every moment. It's a tool, not a weapon. Use it sparingly. Once, maybe twice. Never explain it. The mystery is its oxygen. When she reacts with laughter, curiosity, or silence, hold your frame. Don't rush to fill the space. That pause is where attraction breathes. After that night, Elise told Mark she couldn't stop thinking about that word, temptress. She said it made her feel something she hadn't felt in years. That's the effect of the forbidden name. It breaks through the performance, the control, the rehearsed identity. It calls out the part of her that still wants to feel alive. So here's the truth, my friend. The forbidden name isn't about lust. It's about awareness. It reminds her she's more than her titles, her routines, her composure. It touches her instinct. And when you do it right, she'll chase that feeling back to you. If you've ever said one word that changed the air between you, that made her eyes darken for a moment, you've already seen its power. Comment, "I've felt this." Stay with me, because the next part reveals what she'll never admit out loud. Number 10. The name that makes her yours without asking. There comes a point, my friend, when words stop being tools and start becoming symbols. The name that makes her yours without asking isn't about possession, it's about recognition. It's the moment she feels deep down that you see her differently than anyone else ever has, and she doesn't want to be seen any other way again. This kind of name isn't loud, dramatic, or meant to impress. It's quiet simply, but it carries weight. Because by the time you say it, you've already earned the right to. It's not something you plan. It's something that comes naturally once the connection has depth. Here's how it works. By now, she's experienced your calm presence, your restraint, your ability to see through her defenses. She's felt the pull of your silence, the steadiness of your tone. You've built a world around her that feels safe, but charged, where her femininity can breathe. So when you finally call her by that name, it lands with gravity. It tells her, this space we've built isn't casual, it's ours. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. This is that moment." You're not declaring, convincing, or asking, you're simply being. Your presence speaks louder than any declaration, and that's why this name carries so much power. Most men rush to label, to define relationships, before connection earns its place. They say mind too soon, and it sounds like control. But the Stoic man doesn't label, he leads. He doesn't need permission to define energy, he simply embodies it. When you use this kind of name, you're not taking ownership of her, you're taking ownership of the moment. Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. The same applies here. The luck of finding a woman who naturally responds to your energy isn't luck at all. It's the result of your preparation, your discipline, your presence. When you've built your frame with strength and stillness, the right words emerge effortlessly. And what kind of name is this? It's the kind that fuses intimacy with respect. It could be something as simple as my peace, my reason, or even just her first name, said differently, lower, slower, with intention. The sound becomes a signal. It tells her, I see all of you, and I still choose you. That tone, not the word itself, is what claims her heart. Here's what most people don't understand. When a man is centered, his words resonate beyond logic. They imprint. You can't fake that energy. You can't rush it. It comes from your inner stillness, the kind that doesn't seek to impress but to connect. And women can feel that in their bones. By the time you've reached this level, there's no need to chase or convince. She's already moved closer, not because you asked her to, but because she wants to exist in your presence. The name becomes a cue. Every time she hears it, she's reminded of who she is when she's with you, softer, freer, alive. Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. The paradox is when she feels free with you. That's when she chooses you completely. The name that makes her yours without asking doesn't bind her, it liberates her. So when you finally say it, don't look for a reaction, don't wait for her to respond. Just say it with calm certainty, as if it's always been true. Because in that moment it is. That's it, my friend. Tonight we uncovered the real psychology behind attraction. Not tricks, not games, but understanding. You learned how words, when spoken from calm strength, can reframe desire, lower defenses, and build the kind of connection that doesn't fade. These names aren't about control, they're about presence, awareness, and mastery of self. If you're ready to take this further, to master emotional control, masculine polarity, and Stoic confidence in every part of life, join our Stoic Brotherhood membership. Inside, you'll find exclusive lessons, private discussions, and strategies to sharpen your discipline and deepen your influence. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe. This channel is where grounded men grow stronger every single day. Thank you for watching, my friend. Stay steady, stay sharp, and I'll see you tomorrow.